Well, hey there, gang. It's Jim.
And Christy.
Jacobus with Your Marriage Matters podcast number 135. And, babe, it was just a couple of days ago. It was Valentine's Day.
It was our 35th wedding anniversary.
Absolutely. So. And what did we do for Valentine's Day?
We spent a gorgeous day on a fishing boat.
On the fishing boat. Went fishing, saltwater fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And whose idea was that?
It was mine.
It was Christy's idea. How about that?
I don't know why you're so surprised at that. I love to fish and I love to be outside. And it was a gorgeous day with a fun captain.
So
fun
I'm not surprised by that, but there may be people out there surprised by that. And so, guys, if you're jealous, eat your heart out, ladies. Smart girl here. Smart girl here. Well, anyway, welcome. Like I said, it's week of Valentine's. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. First thing I'm going to do, baby, is tell them about next week. Matt and Julie Barnhill are going to be with us, coolest people on the planet.
Right. And so wise and so filled with great information and insight. And we're just excited to have them on for an interview. There's just so much wisdom. We could talk with them for hours and still not cover everything fully, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know when people ask me, so who do you guys go to whenever y'all need help or you've got questions and everything? And Matt and Julie are a couple. We've done workshops with them. We've been friends with them forever. And I think whenever, I'm kind of stuck on something, Matt's the guy I'll call and go, hey, man, I got a question for you. And when he answers, it's like, it's so simple. I'm like, how come I didn't know that? But he's got lots of experience.
And Julie is the epitome of class and grace and wisdom and just all those wonderful characteristics you want to emulate. And just that, and them as a couple is just, they're awesome.
Yeah. I mean, just some of their things we've learned about how they raise their girls. I mean, I have no idea what they're going to share next week. We are going to talk about relational needs work that we did earlier this month, but again, do not miss that interview. It's going to be awesome. And if nothing else, we're going to have a lot of laughs. That's anytime we get together with the Barnhills, we're going to have lots of laughs. And also, gang, babe, on Valentine's Day, we launched the book.
It was,
Yes, it's been kind of a weird thing in that a lot of people have, told me, hey, congratulations, what a great accomplishment. And I think because it took so many little bitty bites to get there, when it was finally done, I didn't think a whole lot of it.
And, one of the things, and I shared this with you today, one of the things that I think is difficult is there have been people who reached out to me on Facebook and said, congratulations. And I really want to get better at answering everybody to keep in touch with them but balance that with our time together.
Yeah.
And social media is just a great way to reach out to people. But I've found myself sometimes spending hours doing that. So I do want to go back personally and say something to everybody who reached out to us. And it might take a year or two, but I'm going to get that done.
And gang, if you'd like to get a copy of the book, probably the easiest way to do that is go to yourmarriagematters.com/52 combos. All right. You'll find everything there you need to order it. You can either download it off of our website, or you can go to Amazon and you can buy it there both in a Kindle version and in a printed version, or just go to Amazon and search Your Marriage Matters and you'll find the book in both formats. But babe, we were talking to somebody today and they asked the question. I thought, man, that's a great question. I think I know how to answer that, but why the book? Why did we write this book?
Well, in thinking back about it, this would have been about 10 years ago when Jason, Ross, Rusty, Kate were of that age where they were starting to consider getting married. And I just would look at them and think, as they're starting out, trying to find the right mate and all that, I would want to give them like an instructional guide or some information as new young people looking for marriage and everything. What about you?
Well, I mean, we started off, the first book was actually going to be for pre-marrieds, but then we kind of transitioned over to do it for marrieds. But, I still go back to the time we did that workshop, Couples at the Crossroads. And we became so aware that communication and the ability to solve problems together effectively was at the center of every successful marriage. And so I felt like, we need to write a book that will help people with that. And gang, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at the book, at its simplest form, it is 52 conversations about a wide variety of subject matters. We talk about money, sex, parenting, roles and responsibilities around the house, faith, just 10 different subject matters with 5 guided conversations. And every one of those conversations may have 5 or 6 questions that go along to help you kind of process through that. So we wanted to put together something that would help couples communicate more effectively with each other. And babe, that's kind of how the book came out. So, but why do I think it's important? Because there's a lot of cool stuff in there that you and I learned from doing pre-married workshops that a lot of people never talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're excited about the book. We encourage you to take a look at it, download it. We'd be blessed to know that it was helpful to you. And if you have any questions about us, just respond down there below. Okay, you can leave us messages on our YouTube channel, or if you're on Spotify or iTunes, you can send us a message. Or, but babe, go to your to Facebook and join our Your Marriage Matters Facebook group.
Okay.
We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff there in the near future too. We're going to be doing some webinars and some lives and all that good stuff. So fun stuff there. Well, babe, 35 years.
35 years.
On Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking a while ago. Would you renew your contract if you had the opportunity?
Yeah, if we were a free agent, would we re-sign with each other?
Absolutely, I would.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know any other team would have me.
Had that no trade clause
so,
in mind.
35 years, and we've been asked the question here the last couple of days, how do you get that far? And not only how do you get that far, but I think most people that know us know we've got a really great relationship. It's not perfect by any means, guys. Do not ever think that. But we've got a great relationship. How do you feel like we got this far and have come to this place where we're just, we're in tune with each other?
Well, I think the first thing, it has to be a level of commitment. It has to be when times get tough, when it's not perfect, when it really just
when they don't throw you the ball, don't quit and go to another team.
No kidding. When it really is difficult, we commit, we don't quit. And I remember something my mom told me about, divorce isn't an option.
Yeah.
And so when you take off all the possibilities for quitting, then it becomes, okay, how do we dig down and really solve the problems that happen? And I know it always irritates you to consider that most of the problems that we have in our marriage,
I hate this, but it's true. It's true. I hate it, but it's true.
May not be solved because it's a difference in personality. It's a difference in relational needs. It's just a difference that you can't come to an agreement on, or you can't come to a solution on. And so I think commitment is probably foundational.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about you? What
do
you think?
Well, and again, let me kind of tag that real quick in the sense that, again, you need to know, if you haven't heard our story, I was divorced twice before I met Christy. We got married, and again, 35 years ago in a hot air balloon on Valentine's Day. And so my history was having quit. And part of the deal about being committed and not where quitting is not an option is as soon as you look at it that way, then you start looking for, okay, what is an option? What is a solution? And actually, I think quitting may be one of the easiest things to do. People think it's easy, and it's just better off. And again, we're not saying there aren't times when you shouldn't do that. You certainly should.
Right.
But you know what? Fighting hard and learning and working and growing through that, I think is a better option, because you become better people in the process of doing that.
And just to be clear, if there's ever an incident of abuse or neglect or anything like that, it's not only advised, but it's encouraged to get out of a situation that's destructive. Yeah,
and be safe for sure.
And get help. Yes, of course.
So I guess this is kind of my default in life, and this about me to be true. I think for couples to be successful, one of the things they have to be committed to is learning. And learning, watching podcasts, YouTube channels, downloading relational needs assessments, reading books like 52 Combos. All of those are learning processes. But one of the things that I have learned here recently that I think is why that is such an important skill set is because learning requires humility. All right. It requires the ability to say, you know what? I don't know everything I need to know about this. And so I'd like to learn from somebody. I'd like to learn from Matt Barnhill. I'd like to learn from a book. I'd like to learn from somebody's podcast. You know me, I'm a committed lifelong learner. I'm always reading books. I'm always trying to get better at what I do. And I think part of the thing about that works in marriage is, a while ago you said rather than quit, commit. Well, part of that commitment means saying, maybe I don't know how to do this right. Maybe I need to get better at communication.
Right.
I'm gonna take a wild guess, guys. Everybody out there watching this podcast needs to get better at communication.
Right.
Everybody needs to get better at conflict resolution, problem solving. It's why we wrote the book. But I think one of the things that I see in a lot of couples is there's an arrogance instead of humility on the part of either one or both of them that says, I'm right, you're wrong. And if you just change to my point of view, everything would be better.
Right. And like you said, the need to be right can overwhelm the need to be loved.
Yeah.
And at what cost is that needing to be right,
Yeah.
Occur? So I think you're right
Yeah.
with regards to the humility to say, I don't know everything. And I oftentimes, and we even said it in the book, we dedicated to all the people who shared the road along with us, people who've been, mentors to us, like the Barnhills, people who've been peers as we've struggled, and also people who we've had the ability to, speak words of advice into them. And we've learned a great deal from all three aspects of that.
No question about that. Yeah. And so I think learning is a huge part of it. What else would you add to all that?
I think, love. There has to be love for the other person, concern, kindness, all those things that I think comes out of the very best book of advice ever, which is the Bible, which says love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't keep records of the wrong. So I think one of the foundational and most important things is there has to be love for the other person.
To 100%. And then I'm gonna add on top of all of those things something we've talked about here a lot lately, which having a shared vision for your life. For us, it's living in an RV. And again, guys, we don't recommend that for everybody. We don't not recommend it to anybody that might want to give it a go, but it has really caused us and given us a privilege and opportunity to be closer together than I think we've ever been. No doubt. Partly because 430 square feet will do that. And living a lifestyle where we're hauling around 44-foot toy hauler, trying to figure out where we're going to spend our time and rethinking about where we're going to spend our time pretty much has put us on the same page across the board. And we've come to that understanding that when we have a shared vision for where we're going in life, that gives us both energy. And again, shared vision could be around building a home or a family or any number of different things. It does not have to be living in an RV. But I think, we've been a lot on the same page in the past, but a lot of times it was, me doing my career and you doing your career, and we came together for marriage. And then, we went back to we came together for marriage. Well, now it's like we're in this all day, every day, and everything else kind of circles around the outside of that. And I gang, I'm going to tell you, I know Christy would agree, is we've had a great life together. I mean, if we think back over 35 years, some of the seasons of life we've been through have been amazing. But I don't think any of them is as good as this one is.
That's what you asked me on Valentine's Day, which year was the best.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you said last year.
I guess, wow.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I think is important, because I was listening to a book about, like living in the present and how it requires both mindfulness to be aware that you're in the present and mindlessness so you don't lose, you kind of lose yourself in the moment and everything. And I was thinking about that, and maybe it is because the present is the most important and most impactful. But I do think the present is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sounded like Eminem from the halftime show.
Lose yourself in the moment.
There you go. When I started saying that, it started coming out, and I was like,
"What if you had one chance, one opportunity?"
I know. I thought, oh no.
Oh my God.
I'm quoting Eminem. So, wow.
Yeah, that great philosopher.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, gang. Well, so again, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast. Do not miss next week. It is going to be awesome. Matt and Julie Barnhill, you're going to love them. We think they're just the best of the best. If you have a chance, go check out the book, Your Marriage Matters, 52 great conversations to build a more vibrant, healthy marriage. We'd be honored if you'd take the time to do that. And then, the last thing I would say is, take the time to make sure that person that is your loved one knows how much you care for them, how much they mean to you. Oh, and by the way, do us a favor, down there below, there's a subscribe button. Smash that like button, if you will. Join us on Facebook. We'd love to have you everywhere we go, and join us on your journey so that we can encourage you. We can be there for you. We'd love to do that. You know what? This is a fun life. We love doing these podcasts. And gang, your marriage matters. All right. You got to believe that. Your marriage matters. Right now, if you're just in a relationship, your relationship matters. And we want to help you get the most out of that. So we'll catch you next week, gang. I appreciate you joining us. Babe, love you.
I love you.